Gents, look at any well-dressed man, a CEO in a boardroom, a guy at a wedding that every woman notices, and I guarantee you there is one thing that is true about them all. Their outfit is never cutting them in half. That's not an accident, it's called proportion. And right now, the clothes that you're buying at every major retailer and off the rack are specifically designed to destroy your proportion, because fixing it costs all the fashion houses and all the giant retailers money that they don't want to spend. By the end of this video, you're going to understand the single principle that separates men who look sharp from the men who look like they just grabbed whatever fit. You'll never be able to look in the mirror without seeing it. That's not a bad thing. That's the thing that changes how you dress permanently. I'm going to show you the 1 2/3 rule of men's fashion and why your brain is hardwired to respond to it, why the fashion industry has a financial incentive to make sure you never learn it. And then I'm going to give you a simple mirror test that you can use every single time you leave the house to ensure that you never get this wrong again. Now, the first thing you need to understand is that your brain is hardwired for proportion. It reads proportion before colors, fabric, or price. A well-proportioned outfit in cheap clothes is going to beat an ill-proportioned outfit in expensive clothes every single time. Your brain is hardwired to understand proportion over logos, over brands, etc. It creates the silhouette. It creates your look. That's when the rule of 2/3 and 1/3 come in. You need to understand that one element of your outfit must occupy roughly 2/3 of the visual frame, and the other element is 1/3 of your visual frame. Either starting top to bottom, 1/3, and then your trousers 2/3, or vice versa, have 2/3 top to bottom with your jacket or an overshirt, and then your trousers occupying 1/3. That's the visual element that you need to understand. You can always swap it. It can be 2/3 trousers, 1/3 top, or vice versa, but it can never be 50-50. 50-50 makes you look stupid. Simple as that. The tucked in shirt with mid-rise jeans, the jacket that ends at the hip, these all bisect the body at the widest point. Think about your body. You've got your hips, you've got your midsection, you've got your lats or your shoulders, and then you've obviously got your trunk or your legs, okay? The way that modern fashion is today is that you are being dissected directly in the middle of your body, which is also, for a lot of people, for a lot of men, the widest part of your body. It's essentially giving you a pear shape, and that's the shape we don't want. We're trying to accentuate our V taper. The result of the 50-50 split is that you lose your V shape, and now you've got a pear shape, which is not what we want to do. Now, here's the secret that the fashion industry doesn't want you to know, their dirty little secret. There's an economic incentive behind this. 50-50 splits, oversized silhouettes is a cost play. Oversized garments use less precision in construction, so there's no need to fit it to your body properly. There's less tailoring costs, less fabric costs. There's a one-size-fits-all solution to this strategy. It's saving manufacturers hundreds of millions of dollars a year, but it's making you look fucking stupid. And this is something that you need to fix straight away. What you need to understand is that you have been trained, men have been trained by high street retailers, by marketing, etc., to accept bad proportions. 6'2" models with a 28-inch waist make any proportion look amazing. I remember growing up, I loved that rock star look, skinny jeans, oversized silk shirt, big boots, and then like the jeans were like drain pipe skinny, used to come into a low rise or you know, mid-rise waist, right? My body type, I have, you know, broad shoulders, skinny waist, but then my hips go back out. I've actually got a large set of hips, which is great for you know, for sporting and everything like that. But for that particular look, essentially all that happens is I would basically muffin top. So I'd have to wear oversized shirts to cover that, but it would just make me look like a box. It wouldn't accentuate any of my shape. And we've been trained to accept that. Like I say, when you see a 6' model with a 28-inch waist, they make anything look good. For a 5'8", 5'9", 5'10", 5'6", 5'7" man with a normal build, this will never make you look good. It's gonna give you a proportion and a silhouette that you just don't want. Here is a rule that men get wrong every time. Jacket length rule. Every off-the-rack jacket that you buy is gonna be the wrong length. Most of the time, especially if you're a shorter dude, it's gonna be way too long. The correct length for your jacket needs to sit, if you let your hands relax to the side, where your fingers basically finish, where this section of your palm, if you think this section here, basically the end of the jacket, when your hands are relaxed and to the side of your body, should finish there, right? And the reason for that is because your jacket helps create that 2/3 proportion, okay? It gives you the length required to give you the silhouette that you're after. Whereas most jackets are either longer than that or shorter than that, And again, it just ruins the silhouette, essentially. Or it creates the 50-50 silhouette, which is not what we want. The other element that most guys get wrong is your trouser length or your break and hem length. There's two parts to this. There's the section where your trousers come up to. Most guys are wearing actual suiting trousers and trousers at a low rise, which is completely wrong. Okay, something you men need to do is look at Italian tailoring and understand the reason that Italians look so fantastic is because they get their proportions right. You'll notice that most Italian cuts are a lot more high waist compared to the mid-rise. It really sits around your belly button, and there is a reason for that. They're trying to, again, create that 2/3 proportion from the bottom of the cuff all the way up to just above the hip rise. And that's exactly how your trousers should be. The other point that you need to know is hem length. If your hems are bunching up at the bottom, you're going to appear much shorter than you actually are. The whole idea of wearing a suit and trousers and getting this proportion right is to create a particular silhouette, is to give you a fairly long, slender, or athletic build, right? We want to cut in at the top to give you a nice V-taper. We want to have your torso look nice and long and gives you a nice slim look. That's the key there, okay? Something that blokes do as well is the untuck trap, right? When they untuck their shirt, they don't tuck it in properly, especially if their trousers aren't the right length. Essentially what happens is they instantly create that pear shape, right? They instantly block them off at that 50-50, like they cut themselves in half, which then creates the 50-50 silhouette, which we're trying to avoid. Get the right length trousers up around the hip rise, not the low hip, the high hip rise. Tuck your shirt in to allow you and give you that 2/3, 1/3 split that we're talking about, okay? Don't untuck your shirt. It instantly cuts you in half, giving you that boxy 50-50 split. If you're going for more of a casual look and you don't want to fully tuck in your shirt, you can half tuck it in, okay? And there's going to be videos in my channel on how to do that, but half tucking it in is perfectly acceptable as well if you're going for a more casual look. Now, if you're just starting out and you're not sure, or you don't have the money to go straight into a tailor and get custom-made trousers and things like this, what you can do is use layering to manufacture the right proportions. The easiest way to do that is via your jacket. What you need to understand is that once you understand this concept, the rule of 1 2/3, you can engineer proportion every single time. Me personally, I always use my trousers to create the proportion, and that's because of the way my body is shaped. Like I've said before, I've got broad shoulders, quite a small midsection, but then my hips kind of come back out, right? So for me to wear low-rise trousers is really unflattering for myself. So what I do is I get my trousers custom made, or I find off the rack Italian cut trousers, and then I get them tailored to fit my body. So that way I've got a high-rise pair of trousers on, I tuck my shirt in, instantly my 2/3 section is my lower half and then the 1/3 is the top. But you can always create the 2/3 proportion with your jacket, or even if you want a more casual look, you can do it with an open button overshirt that sits long. Again, what you're trying to create is a 2/3 either at the top and 1/3 at the bottom, visual appeal, visual effect, or you vice versa, 2/3 at the bottom, 1/3 at the top. That's what you need to understand. And again, you use layering to create those proportions. And one final trick or one final test that you can use when you are leaving your house is pretty straightforward. It's the mirror test, right? Stand in front of a mirror and ask yourself, am I being cut in half right now? If the answer is yes, go and layer up to create the proportions, or find a pair of trousers that sits higher waisted, etc. That's what you need to do. So gents, this is a pretty important rule, and I see a lot of guys, every guy basically getting it wrong. There's a reason for it. Like I say, there's an economic incentive behind it for companies to save money and make more money out of you. It's wrong. They shouldn't be doing it. Fuck them. You want to leave the house looking amazing. That's the fucking key, boys. The rule of 1 2/3, get it right, get some.